People wonder what I do all day sometimes. I'm matching my socks. Now tell me, do you have one of these at home? My daughter made one of these. It says, sock dating, currently single, looking for the perfect match. The trouble with this is, it's all cute and all, but actually this is the amount of mismatched socks that are in my house. It's gross. The good news is, it's actually one of the most satisfying things. I love doing it. I like to just obviously let it build up for months at a time. There's something I love about, being able to see instant, measurable results. It makes me feel really good to have a big, when you start with a big pile like this, check this pile out. I'm trying to work out a schedule and a plan to move my goals ahead, and it's still up in the air. I'm still working on it. Sometimes I feel like my life is like this big pile of socks. These videos are really just a motivational speech for myself, to be honest. I mean, I have a hard time keeping myself on task, and I have big dreams and I have goals, and I'm working at staying focused and not focusing on, the end result, but focusing on the day-to-day, because it's the day-to-day that gets you there. It's the day-to-day bullshit stuff like matching your socks, shoveling your driveway. It's stuff you have to do, but you balance it with the big things, and you don't get all overwhelmed with the little things. And slowly you'll get there, and that's something I'm learning as I get older and wiser. So I was thinking about how mismatched socks is all these other things in my life that give me satisfaction, like mowing the lawn, or vacuuming. You can see your progress instantly, and I'm big on instant progress. I like to see instant results, and this is something that's holds me back sometimes, because if I don't see instant results in what I'm doing, a lot of times I've noticed this is my pattern. I just want to throw my hands up in the air and say fuck it, because it seems like you're getting nowhere, right? But that's not actually always the case. Sometimes you're making small steps towards your goal. Just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean you should throw it all away, which is a pattern I've had in the past. So I'm trying to be better at this and trying to stick with things. So yesterday, of course, was a big snow dump here. I don't know if you guys got this snow dump, but in Northeast Saskatchewan, we sure did. And so my 13-year-old son and I I wanted to, he had to shovel the driveway multiple times. We got so much snow. It's insane how much snow we got in 24 hours. He came upstairs and I was cleaning off the front step again. And there was this big pile on the other side of the step. And I said, Jet, why don't you go out and shovel that snow? And it's you don't have to shovel it. We don't walk back there. It can wait, right? And he's like, why would I want to shovel snow? I said, it's fun. You can see instant progress. And he's like, no, and then you got to do it again and again and again. It's not fun. It's frustrating. And I said, well, I gave him my take on it, my perspective, which is I love shoveling snow because you can see instant results. You can shovel the driveway. You start with a big shitstorm mess. You end up with a nice clean driveway. Doesn't that feel good? And he, in his 13-year-old gamer brain, doesn't think that way. He's got a different perspective. He says, no, Mom, it's like playing a video game that doesn't save. You have to just keep playing it, and every time you get to a certain point, you got to shut her down and start all over again. And I could see his take on that. I could see his perspective. So it was interesting to me how, two different brains, two different ways of thinking take the same situation. One sees it as positive, one sees it as negative, right? So I was thinking about that in my life. That is sort of how my patterns have led me to live my life. Playing the same video game over and over again and it never saves because you throw everything away because you give up and you have to start all over again. And that's what I've been doing. But I want to share something with you. It's a tip. It's a trick. It's something I've been learning and sticking to and doing, and it's really been helping me. So this little card, I won't put it close enough so you can see what's on it because it's my own personal list of shit to do. But all it is, you know, little recipe card, little note card. But this card made like the biggest difference in my mindset because I get overwhelmed with stuff, you know, and that's why I think partly why I really like to see immediate results, because it makes me feel like I'm making progress and making headway. Like this big pile of socks, you know, you get a few pairs matched up, you're like, fuck yeah, this feels good, you know. Same with making lists, crossing things off your list. It feels good when you cross things off your list. But when you have a huge pile of socks or a huge list of things to do or a huge snowbank of snow, it feels like it's never ending and you'll never get done, and you get overwhelmed and you throw your hands in the air and you say whatever. So this is how I was getting in my life. Honestly, I say it was, but it's still like an ongoing thing. It's my personality. It's my perspective. I can be feeling just great when I go to bed. Just great about what I've accomplished in the day. But you know, if you're like a lot of people, you lay there and you think about all the things you didn't get done and all the things that you still need to do, and not only on your tomorrow list, but your next week list and your life goals list, and all, it can explode. So I started doing this thing where you take a little note card and you separate down the middle. Skittles versus oranges, it's called. But it's like basically your little things and your big things that you need to accomplish in a day. The little things are your day-to-day, like bullshit tasks, like getting the groceries or matching the socks, shit you gotta get done, and the world's not gonna end if you don't do it, but it's really positive if you do it. And the big things are like things that you need to do to work towards your goals. And everybody has goals and everybody has dreams, but dreams and goals are different. Goals are the things you do to make it to your accomplishing your dream, right? So this is what I do now before I go to bed. I take this card, and on half the card I write at least three things, little things, Skittles, little things that I'm gonna get done the next day. Non-negotiables, right? 3 things, easy. You can do 3 things in a day. Like get the mail or pay the bills or whatever. On the other half of the card are 3 big things that are going to be steps that are going to move you towards like a goal or a dream that you have. 3 big things. Those are things that often get like overwhelming. Like you have these big things that you need to do, and it's like sometimes you focus on the Skittles, you focus on the small shit, because it's easier than focusing on the big things, the oranges, like the big things that you need to do. And then you end up a week later, a month later, a year later, and you haven't dealt with any of the big things because you've been filling your days with these small shitty things that are day-to-day things that everybody has to do, but you don't schedule in the time and make the time and make the effort to do the big things. That's what I do anyway. So at the end of the week or the month or the year, I look down at my big pile of socks. I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit, I got a lot of socks I never got around to matching. You don't get it done. So before I go to bed, I write 3 things in each column. And then I write 3 affirmations for the day, which I used to think affirmations were bullshit. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm beautiful. What's that going to help? But this is what happens in my mind when I wake up in the morning. Like I said, even though I can go to bed thinking everything's great and tomorrow's another day, I wake up in the morning and I instantly, in my mind, is like all the shit I need to do and all the overwhelming things I didn't do yesterday. How am I ever gonna get this stuff done? Sometimes it's a really sick feeling, you know, it's not a good way to start your day. So now when I wake up in the morning, instead of reaching for my phone, which I was in the bad habit of doing, I reach for this card and I read the little things I'm gonna do today, 3 little manageable things. The big things I'm gonna do today, at least 3 things, and I get excited about it. And then instead of feeling like what a failure I am that I didn't get all these things done yesterday that I wanted to do, I think about the things that I did cross off my list, and I read my affirmations, and I feel good. I feel like popping out of bed. I'm like, yes, I can do this. 6 things. I can do these 6 things today. And then at the end of the day, you cross those things off and you feel like, you don't feel like a failure. You feel like you accomplished something. And it feels so good, like shoveling the driveway. You start with a big mess and you end up with a clean driveway. Like this big pile of socks here. You match a few pairs, you might not match them all, but you made headway, right? Like this big pile, I should get at least 10 pairs. That's celebration right there. So anyways, that's my tip. That's my story, how to win your day, is start with a little note card. And what I did yesterday, actually, it surprised me. Instead of having this list in your phone, which is, awful, because then you're always grabbing your phone to look at it, and it's, it's helpful to have just this card. And I took it with me in my pocket everywhere, actually. And it was a reminder. Not only did I have my affirmations on my little card, my reminder card, but I also could see the things I had done and crossed off. God, it feels good to cross things off your list. And the things that I still had to do. And it was a reminder, okay, I need to get this done. When can I do this? Schedule it in, put a time. It works wonders. And I'm not an easy person to stay focused and organized. And this is working for me. So there's your little tip for the day. That's what shoveling snow and socks, folding socks and matching socks has in common. They both help you see results, see progress. And it's like when you're trying to lose weight and you don't see instant progress, you just want to quit. You feel overwhelmed, you want to give up. It's the same with these things. And just having that one little note card can really just keep you on track. It keeps me on track. It works for me. You can do it, guys.